Throughout the sprawling narratives of the ancient world, few descriptions capture the imagination quite like the lion-like men of Moab. In sacred texts and legendary tales, they are set apart, remarked upon with a mixture of awe and trepidation. But who were these individuals, and why do they stand out in the annals of history? To understand them, we must first journey into the lands east of the ancient kingdom of Israel, to the rugged plateaus and arid landscapes flanking the Dead Sea, the territory of Moab. Before we go further, your support is vital in helping this community flourish. By subscribing and liking, you're not only encouraging the creation of more valuable content, but you're also connecting with others who share your interests. Every click, comment, and share strengthens our shared vision and makes it possible to reach new heights together. Join us on this journey and be a part of something that grows with every new member. Thank you for being an essential part of our story.
Moab was more than a geographical backdrop. It was a kingdom with deep roots, rich traditions, and a complex relationship with its neighbors. From the time of the Exodus through the era of the early Israelite monarchy, the Moabites were at once kinfolk and adversaries to the Israelites. Bordered by steep cliffs and winding deserts, this land was inhabited by people hardened by their environment. They were used to scarcity, to defending their borders against encroaching tribes, and to forging their existence against the elements. It was from amongst these people that the so-called lion-like men would arise.
This evocative phrase, lion-like men, first emerges in the biblical accounts, specifically in the stories of David's mighty warriors, those select champions whose feats were recounted with reverence. Among them, the chroniclers note incidents where men faced and overcame these formidable Moabite opponents, likening their strength, ferocity, and courage to that of mighty lions. In a world as yet untouched by modern warfare, where conflicts were fought face-to-face with spear, shield, and sword, being described as lion-like signified an apex of martial prowess.
To understand why lions present such a potent symbol, consider their place in ancient Near Eastern culture. For people in the region, lions represented more than just an apex predator. They embodied majesty, unrivaled strength, and a certain almost mystical resolve. Rulers compared themselves to lions. Deities were adorned with leonine imagery. The lion was the king of beasts, feared and respected above all others. Thus, to call a group of warriors lion-like was the highest compliment. It recognized not only their physical power, but their boldness, their willingness to face danger head-on, and their ferocious commitment on the battlefield. But who were these Moabite lion men in practical terms? Examination of historical and archaeological evidence, combined with the biblical narrative, suggests they were elite fighters, perhaps a warrior caste or a specialized group within the Moabite military. Unlike common conscripts, these individuals would have been trained from a young age in the arts of war. Their daily lives would have been a litany of rigorous drills, athletic competitions, and hunting expeditions, especially the dangerous practice of hunting lions, which doubled as both employment and a rite of passage. Through these rituals, they would imbue themselves with the qualities attributed to lions: fearlessness, agility, strength, and unyielding tenacity. In hand-to-hand combat, these traits would translate into a willingness to advance where others hesitated, to press an assault even when confronted with overwhelming odds. Their reputations would grow, inspiring young Moabites to aspire to join their ranks. They would become living symbols. Just as a lion establishes his dominion over the plain, so too would the lion-like men of Moab anoint themselves as defenders and champions of their people. The stories that survive about these warriors cast them as almost mythical figures. In one memorable account, Benaiah, a mighty man from King David's retinue, is celebrated for slaying 2 lion-like men of Moab. The passage, brief though it is, carries weight. To defeat such opponents was not merely a footnote in a list of accomplishments, it was a testament to unparalleled skill and bravery. The chronicler goes as far as to recount how Benaiah later slew a literal lion as well, deepening the symbolic resonance.
But why do these figures persist so vividly in memory and tradition? In part, it's because they represent the values most prized in their time. The ancient world was fraught with uncertainty. Threats lurked beyond every border. In such an environment, communities placed extraordinary value on the few who could both embody and inspire courage in the face of fear. By drawing upon the imagery of the lion, stories of the Moabite warriors communicated an ineffable but deeply felt ideal: to transform fear into power and vulnerability into dominance. There's also a narrative aspect at play. When cultures clash, especially those that share a border and compete for the same scarce resources, legends tend to swell around the most storied encounters. The Israelites recognized in the Moabite warriors a reflection of their own champions. By highlighting their prowess, ancient writers not only honored the fallen, but lent greater weight to the triumphs of their own heroes. The respect shown to the prowess of enemies made victories against them all the more significant in the consciousness of the people who recorded these tales. Yet the lion-like men can also be understood as more than military champions. In a broader sense, they were personifications of a region's enduring resilience, a testament to the harsh landscapes that shaped the people of Moab. Their very existence is a reminder of the human ability to adapt and thrive amidst adversity. The qualities that lions embodied, survival, leadership, unity, and cunning, were essential not only in battle, but in the day-to-day struggle for existence in a perilous land. Art and literature from the broader region offer further glimpses. Wall carvings and weapons, unearthed in modern-day Jordan and Israel, depict warriors adorned with lion pelts, sometimes even helmets or shields crafted in a lion's likeness. In royal courts, tales of lion hunters served to flatter and legitimize rulers, linking their house to the primal leadership of the great beast. Thus, the lion-like men of Moab were part of a wider tapestry of myth and memory, a motif that gave voice to both admiration and caution. As the fortunes of Moab rose and fell, buffeted by invasions, alliances, and the slow march of history, the memory of its lion men endured. Later scribes compiling genealogies or composing psalms might invoke the idea of the lion-like warrior to evoke the past glories of their people, to rally courage in times of crisis, or to warn against complacency. These stories resonated deeply with listeners for generations, echoing through family histories and public gatherings alike. In the modern age, the tale of the lion-like men of Moab serves as a window into how ancient peoples understood strength, identity, and the struggles that defined them. To look back on their legend is to glimpse a world not just of violence, but of ideals, where a single lion or a single courageous individual could alter the fate of peoples. The lion-like men of Moab thus endure as both historical actors and symbolic figures. They remind us that across ages and cultures, the qualities admired in warriors, courage, resourcefulness, a refusal to yield, remain constant, even as circumstances change. In their stories, we find not merely the romance of ancient battle, but the enduring human search for meaning and greatness in the face of overwhelming odds. So when we hear of the lion men of Moab, let us remember not only the battles they fought, but the values they stood for, the same values that, time and again, have shaped the course of history. Their legend, lion-hearted and fierce, is a tribute to the enduring spirit of humanity itself. As we conclude, consider the profound invitation extended by Yahusha, the Messiah, a call to transformation and new beginnings. In surrendering your life to him, you embrace a path of forgiveness, hope, and eternal purpose. No matter your past, his love offers a fresh start and the promise of salvation. Take this moment to open your heart, seek his guidance, and let faith lead you into a life filled with meaning and peace.
House of Rest.